Hi everyone, and welcome to lesson 9, bubble 7, sprite movement. This lesson is pretty exciting because it allows our sprites to actually move across the screen. But if you've taken a look at the video and through instruction, you will notice that we're actually just redrawing the sprite every time it runs through the function draw. So it's not really necessarily moving, but rather just redrawing it in a different position. So kind of like when you have those flip books for animation and you know how you kind of move something along, same with the lines of like a stop animation movie where you're just moving an object over and over and over and over and over again. You're just doing it very fast. Well, here is the same kind of concept. If we're in bubble 7, you'll take a look. We're looking at this mouse. And if I run this, you'll notice that it is moving my mouse down 2 pixels every time it runs through the draw function. So first off, it creates a variable called mouse, and it puts it on the screen at 50/50, and that's why our mouse starts way at the top. And you'll notice our animation is set at mouse, so it doesn't matter. We could have had it be a bunny, but for this example, they used a mouse. They scaled it down a little bit, and then they created the draw function. And again, remember the draw function, anything inside of it means it's just drawing it over and over and over and over again as the program is running. So we first want to draw the light green background. Then we want to redraw our mouse at 2 pixels down. So you'll notice we're mouse.y, so we're dealing with moving it down the screen, the y-axis, and every time it draws it, it's going to be adding 2 to the location. So remember, our mouse first starts at 50. So when we redraw it, it now goes to 52, and then it moves down the screen. So it starts at 50/50, it goes to 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, and so it keeps moving it down by redrawing it further down the y-axis. So the reason why you don't see the mouse over and over again is because we're actually redrawing the background. So some of you I noticed, I'm just going to move this and run this. Some of you I noticed in lesson 7, you kept your background out, and you'll notice now it's just redrawing the mouse over and over on top of each other. And in fact, we want to redraw the background so that it covers up our old mouse. So we're not actually getting rid of our mouse, we're just redrawing it. And in order to hide that, all the old mice that we've drawn, you're gonna actually redraw or repaint the background again. So that's why you put the background inside of the draw function. So I'm gonna run this again. And so it's doing light green background, mouse at 52. Draws the mouse. Light green background, mouse at 54. Draws the mouse. Light green background, mouse at 56. Draws the mouse. So that's why you don't see multiple mice and why it's moving down. Okay, so now this wants us to take a look at the program, and we want to update it so it actually moves diagonally. So we're not only moving it down, but we are also moving it across the screen. So we're going to need to look at mouse.x as well. So let's take a look at the variables here. And I can go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to put it right above the draw sprite because I want to actually move the mouse before I draw it. So this is going to be mouse.x. And we are going to do some math. So we are going to add, right? Correct? So we're moving not only down, but we're moving to the right. And if we're moving to the right of the screen, we're adding to the x value as well. So I'm going to do this plus sign. And in this first one, I need mouse.x. And let's move it at the same rate, or the same number of pixels is basically what it is. If you want it to go slower, you would do like 1 pixel at a time. If you want to go faster, you could increase that to be like 5 or 6. Okay, so let's try this. Reset. and run. And then now you'll notice not only every time it redraws or goes through this draw function, so again, it's working through this. It's going to this draw function. It's creating a light green background. It's drawing the mouse at 52, and then drawing the mouse, or setting the mouse at 52, 52, drawing it. Then it's circling back through this function draw, doing a background light green, setting the mouse now 2 pixels more than what it was, so now it's 54, and now it's 54, and drawing the mouse. Going back through the loop, it's recoloring it, now it's going to be 56, 56. Going back through, recoloring the background, 58, 58. Going back through, recoloring the background, 60, 60, and that's why you've got that movement. Now, it also says, can you make the mouse point in the same direction as the image? Well, remember we looked at some of these different things in here, and let's just kind of go through. Do you remember something called rotation? We might want to rotate our mouse, right? And we don't necessarily want to do it every time we draw the mouse. We just want to do it originally. Okay, so maybe we need to rotate the mouse a little bit. So the sprite name of the mouse is called mouse. So let's write mouse. And we want to rotate it. So maybe we want to rotate it, let's try 5. So what it's going to do, it's going to create a variable called mouse, set it at 50, 50, make the mouse variable the actual picture of the mouse. It's going to scale it down by 50%, so it's a smaller mouse, and it's going to rotate the mouse. This is all before we actually draw it. So it doesn't look like it's really, it just kind of does it, right? So 5 degrees. So how about we do 300? And try that. Now you notice it's kind of going. So it's actually rotated the mouse 300 degrees from when it was pointing down. So remember, 360 degrees would make it go completely all the way around. 180 would make it go up. So 300 kind of makes it go, tilts it that way. So if you want to try a different number of rotations, that's fine. But again, this sets it up. So I'm going to comment here so you guys can see. So this sets up our initial mouse, okay? This draw function, go down. This draw function redraws the background and the mouse every time in a different position by 2 pixels. Okay. So every time it goes through this draw function, so this is just once. Our program reads line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. It only does that once. But this draw function is like a loop, so it keeps going over and over and over and over and over again. And so it goes to this draw function, it creates the background, it moves now the first position of mouse.y to 52, mouse.x moves it to 52, and then draws the mouse. So now it's 52. They're both at 50, 52, 52. Then it goes back through this draw function and loops back through, draws the green background. Now it's 54, 54. Draws again, 56, 56, 58, 58, 60, 60. And that's why you have that moving effect. So that's bubble 7.